Hello and welcome back to the Behind the Plate podcast as part of One IQ Sports Talk. I'm your host, Will. This is my co-host, DJ. And
Hey,
hello.
hero.
DJ is in the midst of chewing about 20 pieces of gum right now.
Dude, I'm getting in the major league. Like I need that what's it called? What was that? Big League
Big
Chew?
League Chew? Big League Chew's legit, man.
Yeah, I need that. Like I need to be able to tuck it underneath and feel like a baseball player, even though I can't play baseball. That's the best I can get.
VR, man, virtual reality.
Oh yeah, but
If you can hit nukes in VR, you can hit nukes in real life. It is just
no,
proven.
the Wii, when you
The
used to
Wii?
play the Wii.
I'm playing Little League World Series like 2008 right now because of the Little League
Bro,
World Series.
I love that game. And nobody else did. And probably like nobody played that game.
No,
I've never Wow,
no,
I
but
forgot about that game.
I get really into it. So I have a Team Canada hat, right? It looks purple, but it's red.
Wait, no way.
And
Will
so
you
like I
still
actually
play it?
go through the motions. Like I'll pitch it and I'll like, actually like hit. Yeah, I go.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm
you
playing it
still
right
play
now.
that
I
game?
was playing it yesterday.
Shut up.
Yeah, I got like really into it. I'll get music going too, and I like treat them as like real games. I get
Bro,
way too
I
into it.
I actually love that game.
It's so good.
But I've
Top tier
never
game.
met anyone else that plays it. But anyway,
Still
we'll have to
same.
talk about it after. I used to grind that game for no reason.
Uh, this is
Wow.
another winging it podcast. We don't really have anything down. There's a few keynotes that we just have to talk about with the Rays, but I don't really want to deal with that yet. I kind of want to
Yeah.
skim over it.
Yeah, the Rays are their season started off
it.
historic
It's gonna
and
end historically too, but not for the right reason.
oh my God.
Um,
I wonder why.
I do want to just start with their injuries before we get into like the nitty gritty of everything that's kind of going on. Shane
Yeah.
McClanahan is like their ace, and he's gone for this year and next year. He's getting Tommy John, and
Mhm.
Manuel Margot went under the knife a couple days ago. Kind of feels like everyone in that rotation like pulled pork elbows. They don't
Yeah.
really got anything in there, and it feels like they're always hurt.
Yeah, what are they doing with their pitching staff? Like
Yeah,
it's been talked about. Like I don't know what
it's
they're doing.
insane.
If
Like Baz is still hurt. Glasnow I think just got back from injury like a couple starts ago. I might be wrong. I know he was hurt earlier this year. I think it's either Jeffrey Springs or Drew Rasmussen's out. Like they got like key contributors out and
yeah,
like
they
out for the season.
have to start looking into their therapy team or whatever's going
Yeah,
on. If they're not stretching before the game, if they're not warming up, or like I have no idea, but it's
and it's
honestly alarming.
they don't throw a lot of innings. Like that starting staff probably throws the least amount of innings in the league. Maybe
Well,
besides the
yeah,
A's because the A's pitchers get yanked after the third because they're down 21-0.
yeah. I mean, maybe it's like they think, hey, we're not gonna pitch them, we're not gonna warm them up, we're not gonna like get
Yeah,
their arms loose.
it's,
I have
it
no
is
idea, but
weird.
yeah.
It's weird. It also like it brings into a really interesting offseason for them where like they got to go get pitching. They got to go get a shortstop too.
Yeah, they have a
Well, they
yeah.
so I mean I guess we should probably dive into this.
I mean, yes, nothing is like we can't say it's like for
But it's
sure
not for
right now.
sure. But there's a lot of reports. I think the telltale fact is the fact that he didn't wander on over to the West Coast with them. He's staying put in Tampa. I would be shocked if he's back in the DR right now being investigated, but yeah, he enjoyed the minors a little too much.
And that's crazy. It's actually crazy when you see one of those like the news break
Yeah.
and it's so random because like out of anybody it's like, oh, okay, that's like
Wander Franco.
yeah,
I
like
was
the
like,
biggest prospect in baseball 2 years ago. It's
yeah.
like
I I think it was Sunday he was out of the lineup. That's when all the news broke. I like looked at my
mhm.
phone and I was like, "Oh, Franco's in the lineup." And I was like, "That's an interesting choice for a Sunday game," because it was his giveaway day. Like they were giving away Wander Franco hats, right?
Oh,
And for
no
fans
way.
14 and under. And I was like, "That's a little weird."
Um,
And then I was like, "Oh, Wander Franco's trending." And then it was like, "Wander Franco's he's a what?"
yeah, you texted me that and I'm
Excuse
like,
me?
how do you know? Like, what is going on? So
Yeah.
I immediately didn't even respond to you. I went on Twitter and I was like, My God, to see him like with the in the pictures, like
The
kissing her on
picture.
the cheek is like,
The fact that there's multiple, like there's another one that's filed a complaint against him. He's filed one against a 17-year-old, which is still too young. Like, you know,
I
he should have avoided it.
for baseball and the like obviously the girls' sake, I hope it's not like real, obviously, but what are you thinking? If it's a actual thing, I'm not gonna be like,
Think you, I. It's just gonna be interesting. Hector Gomez, he's like the Dominican Republic kind of like reporter. He's like the Jeff Passan of the Dominican. He's like
hmm,
spot on with all his reports, and he pops them out about like 15 minutes before any American media gets it. He was spot on with Franco's extension. Like he's got some connections into like DR players. I think he also had um Barrios' extension. It was either him or Barja or whatever, Carlos Barrera. I don't fucking know.
somebody.
So yeah, like Gomez put out today, it was like there's multiple complaints, and that it was likely that he will never touch an MLB field again. And I was like,
Oh,
kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, how
in
do you
my
let
opinion,
someone?
yeah,
How do you let someone play another baseball game? I
dumb.
even if like the reports aren't true, there's still something that stemmed to that point. Like he still met up with this person. There's
Hmm.
still photos of with this person. I also saw reports. I don't know if it's true that it was like one of them was like an inappropriate relationship that potentially led to a child. I don't know if that's true. If that's true,
Oh
that's fucked
God,
up. Like extremely
yeah.
fucked up. Um, so yeah, it is a wild scenario, and it throws the Rays into a tricky situation because this is the first time they've spent money on a player. Like they went, I've never seen them give out more than a 5-year contract, and they gave this guy 12 years, 240 million. I think it was.
Guys, the saddest part is like, well, no, it's not the saddest part. The saddest part is obviously the victims, but he's also like,
He's thrown away his career.
he's, yeah, throwing away a career that could have been like, he could have been a Hall of Famer easily, and he was on the way to being a Hall of Famer and like one of the faces of the MLB for the next decade and a half, probably.
Oh,
It's
easily.
just sad, but he doesn't deserve a career if he did this shit. So
No, no, he does not. He just.
it's worse than A Rod, way worse. Like if you think A
It's
Rod's
worse
hated,
than Bauer.
yeah. Oh yeah, like
Bauer's
all that.
probably the one that everyone's. It's like we're hitting like Felipe Vasquez territory. You remember that case? That was wild.
That was
He's
wild, and I don't think I just after it happens, when that shit happens, you're like, they won't do that again. You're making so much money, you're in the spotlight, and then boom,
here we are. Money
like
does wild things to people.
it's a superstar. It's not even just like no, I don't know.
It's
It's
wild.
fucking crazy. Okay.
The Rays did promote their one of their top shortstop prospects. I don't know if it's the top one. They promoted him from high A to triple A. Never happens. That never happens. Usually you go. Usually you can do like high A, double A, MLB, right? But no one does high A to triple A. Like no one really skips double A besides like the COVID prospects. So that's a little interesting. They have I think it was like 3 or 4 guys that can play shortstop in the next 2 years. But
Yeah.
like if they're going on the market, looking at the baseball side of things, if they're going on the market for a shortstop, a starting pitcher, and an outfielder, or a few starting pitchers, like they're gonna have a really interesting offseason now because like you have to fill the hole that Wander Franco's kind of left.
Yeah. Wait,
Because
okay, and sorry, I don't mean to
go
cut you
ahead.
off. His contract would be terminated, right? Like they
Yeah,
wouldn't have to pay it out.
I think. Well, unless he doesn't get arrested. Like if he's not arrested, right, and let's say he's proven innocent, uh,
Mm.
I don't know what they do because, well, the MLB will suspend him, right? Like Bauer was proven innocent through the court of law, whether he was innocent or not. The court of law deemed him to be innocent, and they still suspended him for
Mhm.
2 years.
Yeah.
And so I like, what is Franco get? Like that to me, like if we want to hand out lifetime bans, this is the time you hand out a lifetime ban.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I don't know. I I don't know.
It's gonna be easier to speak to when there's like actual like, you
Yeah.
know, something is deemed like it's figured out. So
I don't
maybe
think
we
we're gonna
come
have a
back to it.
response on this until the new year. Honestly, like this seems like it's a messy situation. It's complicated. It's gonna take its time to work out, and it's not something that anyone's gonna want someone to rush to conclusion on.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Rays
Well,
organization too. Is
I feel
like,
bad for the teammates. Like
yeah,
there's a guy they count on going down the stretch, and to do such a stupid, childish thing, no pun intended. But
yeah.
like,
I
I'd
don't
be
know.
I'd be furious if I was in the Tampa Bay locker room. Like I'd be going back to Tampa Bay after this West Coast trip and just smashing his locker up. Like nameplate
Oh, for
gone.
sure.
Like just trash his locker. And if he
I
comes
would.
back, he can look at that because he's not welcome. Like I don't think he's gonna be welcome back in that clubhouse, let alone any other
No,
clubhouse. If he plays
no.
baseball again, it's in the Dominican Republic or some like
Yeah.
Cuban professional league
He will never step on an MLB
field.
field ever again.
You know, I thought about this today on the way to work. If say he's not arrested, which I don't know how that's even possible at this point, but say he's not arrested and they just like give him the lifetime ban, and he tries to play for the Dominican Republic for the World Baseball Classic. How do you like? How does that work? Can he? Would he?
No,
Would the Dominican be like, well, you already kind of play for our league, or would they be like, fuck off? Like that would be the interesting part. And say he does play, like that's gonna ruffle even more feathers. That's a huge
it,
like that's a lot of ifs, but
that's only if, and only if for some reason he's not guilty. Like there's a
yeah,
chance. But
yeah,
if
yeah.
he's guilty, he's just gone forever.
It's like 99% guilty, 1% innocent. Like
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it's innocent till proven guilty. But
Hmm.
there's a lot of evidence that points in the direction of you really fucked up.
I know,
And
I
it's
know.
never no one ever sees it as oh you're innocent till proven guilty. It's usually you're guilty till proven innocent. That's just kind of the way the world goes.
In the media, yes, in the media, 100%. But at the same time, you can't make an official tweet or statement be like, "This guy is
I didn't do it.
drowned." And yeah, you can't.
I did not. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even want to freaking
I
give
don't
this
want to
guy
touch it
the
with like
time
a
of day.
100 foot pole, man.
Yeah, guy's a creepy motherfucker, and yeah, that just sucks
It's
to hear.
just not great. And the Rays, like they're, although I think they've done all right. They're like 2-1 since he's been gone, maybe 3-1. I don't know. They kicked ass in San Francisco Monday night, and I think they kicked ass again. It was either yesterday or today.
In the day game yesterday, they did
Yeah.
pretty good.
So it's the Rays. They always find ways to win. But can you imagine they don't make the playoffs because of this?
They'll make the playoffs, but
Like they'll
they're
make
never.
them, but like
Mhm.
there's that chance that they don't now. You know, like there wasn't
Yeah.
really a doubt before. There's like a percentage of doubt, like a 1%. Like oh,
Oh, so
you
yeah.
you may not be as much of a guarantee as you thought.
I think they're almost a guarantee. I think
Yeah,
they just obviously make nothing happen of it. Like they're they put themselves in a good spot, and they're still a really good team. Or
yeah.
sorry, a good team. Like Wander Franco isn't their only offense, and they got
No,
a lot. But the pitching hurts,
the
like the
pitching
injuries and the
is huge.
yeah, that's even more so. Like fuck Franco. Um, the-
Yeah,
Losing your ace is bad. Not even for this year, but next year is like ooh, puts them in a rough spot because it takes years off of contracts and people don't want to stay in the organization, and it's just like
they handled this situation a hell of a lot better than the Dodgers handled the Bauer situation.
mhm.
They, within minutes, were like, "Fuck you, you're not playing." Right, and the Dodgers were
Yeah,
like, "Well, we might let you make your next start."
yeah.
Um, so that's
No,
interesting. I uh, I just think maybe wonder if the Rays try and use this as an excuse to not pay players next time, or like, oh, I want that 7 year deal, and you're like, no, we're only gonna give out fives because we don't know what can happen, and we don't want to be tied down to someone long term, and you do some stupid thing. I don't think that should be an issue, but it's the Rays, and they're a little bit cheap. That could be a problem down the road.
The one thing I will say is the next time they do think about doing it, there's always going to be a clause in the contract, and there might already be a clause in the contract that says like, hey, if you do some fucked up legal shit, we're out. You don't get nothing from us, and you're banned.
Yeah,
So that's what's going to happen going forward,
the
and if it
Rays.
hasn't already.
Oh yeah, the Rays are gonna have when we do an off-season outlook of the MLB after the World Series. The
Hmm.
Rays are definitely going to take up a good portion of time.
Yeah, they have a lot to figure out in the off season.
Yeah.
Like more than any team probably now. I mean,
Oh yeah,
geez,
they're
yeah.
like the only other team that has to figure out a lot is like the Cardinals.
Hmm. Cardinals have to think about other teams like
The Mets,
man,
maybe the Padres.
man,
A lot
when
of
those
National League teams. The Yankees, they're gonna have a weird
oh
offseason.
yeah, the D
Yankees,
backs have been really weird too.
yeah, they always do this though. Like they like do really good, and then when you add good players to their team, they're like, "Oh no, we suck now." I remember what was it, 2017? They had that like really weird year. They're like, "Yeah, we're really good this year," and then they
Mhm.
signed. It might have been 2018, whatever. But they signed Bumgarner, and they just sucked ever since. Like they've not been a good team. Like they were like, "Yeah, we're good. We skipped this rebuild year. Like let's go," and then they've
Yeah,
had to rebuild, and they're like, "Wow, this sucks." And then they get really good players, or like they play really good with like prospects and like kind of guys that nobody else really wanted in senses of players, of certain players, not all their players. And then they go out and they get some guys that are good, and they're kind of like, "Oh, we're gonna do this again." It's like a weird
yeah,
like it's a dance of hell with them.
yeah. They might still be a fringe team because that like wild card race is not like the AL. Well, you need to be like 15 games over 500, but
I
like.
I don't know if they make it anymore. I don't know.
Me neither. It's not looking good. They need to turn it around
They
and
were
get
like
hot.
a lock. Like we were talking like division
Yeah, they
winners.
were making a push going into the trade deadline. We're like, oh, what trades are
They
they
could
gonna
do
make?
this.
Yeah, they could
They
do this. It
could.
was,
God
give
awful.
the Dodgers a run for their money, but then
Dodgers have been what is it? They're like 13-1 in August. Like that's
yeah, they're
fucking
10 game win
insane.
streak right now. 10 game
The
win streak.
Mariners are pissing me off. The Royals.
The
The Mariners
Mariners,
Royals series was so interesting because the Mariners blew every single lead that they had and still won 3-4.
yeah,
Like if Toronto blew every lead they had, they would have been swept.
100%. Uh,
Oh,
I
just
mean, yeah, Toronto. I've noticed if we if we're down, we don't catch up.
no.
That's just it. If we
It's just
score first, we probably win. But if we're down late in the game, we don't catch up this year, and that's what's different.
yeah.
Is like there's no fight in this team. I feel like there's so much give up. It's like why I don't get it. They try to do too much. Their approach is way more
The
like,
offense
hey,
has looked better since that Sunday game when Edwin was in the dugout.
mm,
That's
I
all I'm
mean,
gonna say.
yeah, but
They, in a
yeah,
sense of that, they don't before they like kind of look to shoot the ball the other way. Now they're
mhm.
kind of looking to get around on the ball. Like Vladdy's pulled the ball a hell of a lot more in the last 3 games than he has all year. Varsho's like, God
Oh, we're
damn, I'm a
just
superstar.
killing the ball again.
Biggio is like fucking Barry Bonds right now. It's great.
Yeah, Biggio and Varsho have really carried us to 2 wins this week. So
Yeah. Um, I just before we go to the Blue Jays, I was watching the Orioles play the Padres, and Kevin Brown's finally back. So Kevin Brown was suspended for saying that the Orioles suck in Trop, and the Orioles were like, "Hey, now, don't say that. You're suspended." And then everyone kind of figured out what was going on, and then everyone's like, "Wow, you're soft." So they brought him back, and Kevin Brown's like, "Hey, thanks, guys." So they were. It was 10-0 Padres in the sixth inning. They were talking about Blink 182, right? Because what else are you gonna talk about? And the Kevin Johnson's color guy, I assume it's the color guy, was like, "Yeah, I don't know what Blink 182 is. I just assume that's a fighter jet." So Kevin's brought out these like impressions, and they were like spot on. I respect it. I'm glad he's back. It's fun. And I also think that just kind of shows off what baseball is when you're down a lot. You don't really give a fuck. You're like, hey, let's talk about music.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if they should give him more freedom. It
Yeah,
brings people in. It gets you in. If your team's down 10-0, you're probably gonna change the channel. But if he's talking about some stupid dumb shit, then
yeah,
like maybe you
exactly.
could laugh at it and like take it with a grain of salt. I
Yeah.
agree.
And then, well, my thought was like, when the suspension for saying, oh, like there was something like this was in like July. They were like, oh, 15-1 since like
Yeah, he's
2017 or
not wrong.
2018 in the Trop, and I was like, fair enough. I think Toronto's like 0-700 in the Trop, like
Yeah,
franchise wise. Like it sucks to play there, and he was just throwing out stats. Like he wasn't like going out and attacking people about it. He was
like
like,
we're trash. We're
he's like
trash. Like yeah,
statistically this sucks. Like
yeah.
playing here sucks. They had the headline was tropical depression, and like he just spit out facts, and the Orioles were like, "Don't do
Wait,
that. We don't do it."
tropical
Tropical
depression is
depression.
pretty crazy.
It was great. But
That's
then I was
pretty good.
thinking, I was like, imagine Sportsnet just suspended everyone who said the Blue Jays sucked in Trop. We'd have nobodies.
Yeah.
We would literally. We would be calling on like the Dunedin Blue Jays to come up and call a game for us. Like we'd have no one.
I
It's
think,
just
but
it's just
I,
known that it sucks to play there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've heard lots of people talk way worse about their team on live
Dude,
air.
some guy dropped the N word. You
What?
don't remember this from like the I don't know. It was
I'd have.
something like racist in like 2020. It led to the Castellanos. I'd like to apologize. I like to take this
Oh
time to
yes,
apologize
yes,
for my
yes,
actions.
yes.
And there's a drive to
Yeah,
deep left field, and it's Castellanos makes it a 4-0
yeah,
ball game.
yeah, yeah.
I don't. I swear he said something racist, man. I like 95% sure. I know an N word has been dropped on
I
live
don't think it
broadcast for
was. Yeah,
baseball.
I don't think it was the N word. What the heck was it?
I'm looking this up.
Uh, I've seen that though. Like yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen it multiple times. Um,
but like, there's definitely been people who've said worse things
hmm, live
on
air.
live broadcast. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, and I've heard like Blue Jays broadcasters say the same thing. They're critical about their team that they're watching. They're just telling the truth. Usually they're professionals. Usually they know what they're talking about, and they. Your job as a broadcaster is not only to broadcast the game, but look up the stats and know, the teams and what they've done in the past. So it's like, don't be so harsh.
he
Maybe if he was
said
like,
a
we're the worst team
homophobic
out.
slur.
Hmm. Haha.
Still bad.
I was like, yeah, I don't think he would do that.
If he would have
He,
just like, if Kevin Brown would have just been like, "Yo, we suck," different story.
mm, yeah, I don't know. I think
Anyways,
he has the right to be critical when you're and whatever 16 and whatever. He's just spit facts.
and when you have to commentate on the team that sucks,
Hmm.
it's not fun. Okay, look at the Oakland A's announcers. They want to die. They uh they played St. Louis. I was telling DJ about this. I sent him the video of this. Newbar gets hit in his Newbar, and she's like, "Oh, that's not your typical shin injury." And then the replay shows, and they're like, "Ooh," like
Hmm.
when you have to call a team that wins 20 games a year, you try and find the little fun points that like, yeah, someone else can have some fun with it. And when the team's too soft, that's a team problem. That's not an announcer problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think there's anything much to say about it.
Nah,
That's just a
I
stupid suspension.
just wanted to bring it up because I forgot to last time, and I thought it was very interesting.
It is very interesting. Soft, soft, soft.
Soft. Yeah. I mean, I guess we can kind of hit into the Blue Jays now, man. Like I'm
Okay.
trying to think
Blue
of what else
Jays.
happened in the MLB this week, and
What
nothing's
happened?
popping.
Well, okay, it's very poppin' because of Wander
Well,
Franco, but
yeah. Besides Franco going to like local elementary schools, nothing else is kind of happening.
what day was the? Oh, no, Batista
Well,
hit
like
his.
besides Bautista's day,
Okay,
nothing
okay.
else
Well,
has
we didn't talk about
happened.
Batista. I
Yeah,
think it was. I think it was good. I
that's an
think
MLB wide
Batista.
thing.
Yeah, I think but Batista Day was. Oh, okay. Before I talk about that, I seen a thing on Instagram today that ESPN might make a 30 on 30
Shit, actually.
on the seventh inning.
Where'd you see
Um,
that? You need to send that to me. Oh, Dan
ESPN.
Plesac. Dan Plesac put out his predictions for the rest of the
Oh
year.
yeah.
A huge
Oh
Dan
yeah.
Plesac fan, by the way. Love this dude. I think he's
Yeah, me
by
too.
far the smartest broadcaster in all of baseball. I've never met a smarter human being than him. So his
Hmm.
final stretch predictions, he said the toughest postseason atmosphere to play in, Philadelphia. Fair enough. His
Hmm.
NL MVP is Acuna Jr. Fair enough. The NL sleeper team is the Cubs. His World Series matchup is the Phillies and the Blue Jays. Genius. Absolutely genius. I don't know. When the Jays make the World Series, I'm gonna be like, yeah, Dan Plesac's fucking smart.
He
And
called
then
it.
I'm also
Yeah.
come on here and I'm gonna tell you I told you they were the 2021 Braves or the 2022 Phillies.
I hope you're right. We're on the same team here.
I
All
hope
right,
I'm
but
right too, because I will stab my eye out if I don't.
yeah, since the All-Star break, this has been like a very tough team to watch. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I used to blame it on myself for watching. I used to blame
I
it on
still
you for
blame it
watching.
on
I
you.
used no, and then I don't watch them and they still lose, and then I watch them and they lose. Nothing changes. All right, we're just bad against good teams, and that's literally it. I don't want to hear any superstition. I'm very superstitious. Like I cracked this hat. Like this hat's like probably 4 years old, 5 years old. I started wearing it again because I won. Oh, sorry, I won. The Blue Jays won when I put it on one day, and I haven't stopped wearing it while I'm watching a game. So, but no, this team, it doesn't matter if I'm watching or I'm not. They're super inconsistent. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you suck at baseball. I'm just kidding. We'll get into
Just
that later.
rip.
Yeah, no.
I think it's a Bautista time, you know? They pulled
Mm,
out all the stops, I would say, with getting
mm.
players back. They brought back basically the 2015 team. Like, Edwin's there, Goins was there, Devin
Gibby,
Travis was there,
Gibby.
Gibby, who else was there? Adam Lind was there. There's
That was
others.
good to see.
Adam
To see
Lind looked
Lynn,
like
I
he
was like,
sits in a cabin, hunts grizzly bears, and does like hardcore drugs, or has
yeah,
not been sober since he left the MLB. And it's been pretty insane. They got Cito there too. That was pretty awesome.
yeah, it's good
Um,
to see him, man. It's been years.
Gibby got a really good ovation too. I thought Gibby got a better ovation than Cito, which I thought was a little fucking wild.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
he got,
Cito's the
yeah, I think
reason
it
we have
was,
some rings, and Gibby's just giving us some pretty good playoff runs. Like it, the thing is that the playoff runs,
it's the decade. Like
yeah.
people know Gibby more.
I mean, if like the playoff runs, like Gibby could have been the one to win the two World Series, but if Cito was involved with this playoff runs because of the bat blip, he was just gonna
Uh-huh.
get a better ovation.
Yeah.
Um, there's some other guys there that I'm not remembering. I'm just completely blanking on. Marco
Well,
Scutero,
Edwin.
that one was
Oh,
good. I
yes.
enjoyed seeing Scoots there. I didn't think there was a pitcher there, but when I come to think of it,
Was
oh,
Romero
Ricky was
there?
there. Ricky
Yeah.
Rowe. Ricky Rowe was there. That was it though.
Yeah. No,
I thought
it was
Vernon
good.
Wells was missing. I felt like that was a good piece to get. I'm glad that Stroman was there.
Yes,
That was a huge thing.
that was great. I forgot for some reason that we were playing the Cubs
Same.
and he was on the Cubs and I was like, oh yeah, he's here. Duh.
Yeah, when I saw him on the
Oh,
Jumbotron, I'm like, oh, that's super cool. And then they showed him. I'm like,
yeah.
whoa, he
I
made it
hear.
up to Toronto? And then I'm like, oh, right, he's on the team that plays
Which,
Toronto.
yeah, perfectly timed. I think they must have planned that's
Yeah.
coming into the series. Like, hey, Strowman's gonna be there. So yeah, I thought it turned out well. So a little awkward when he was like walking station to station and he
That
was
was a
like
little
kind of
weird,
not
wasn't
knowing.
it? That
Yeah,
was a little weird. I feel like they could have brought. I feel like Donaldson was a bit of a missing piece there. You know, that's the third Splash brother there. You know, and then I thought D Price could have been one as well, just to get.
yeah. I think there's
Um,
lots. I'm glad he brought up like his old coach, his old GM, his like
oh yeah, yeah.
everybody in the past.
I
That was nice.
not a huge fan that they had to mention JP Ricciardi. Not a huge fan of that
Yeah, I
in
don't
that thank
really
you video.
care.
Nah, fuck JP
Yeah.
Ricciardi.
Huh.
JP
But
Ricciardi. I was trying to
Real Sharky, yeah.
Rishitardi or something. I was trying to wordplay and just say that he fucking sucks at life, but I can't get it.
But hey, we got Bautista thanking him, then
Batista
it must be
on
important.
the level of excellence next to Halliday and below Jackie. Perfect spot for him. Um,
When you go to Toronto, you
I'm
need
taking
to
a
take a
photo of it.
picture
Hella photos of
of
it.
the wall too. The
Oh yeah,
wall.
no, I have. I'm making sure we're going to that mural. It's on like what Spadina, I think it is. Like
Yeah,
it's
so check
99th
that
and
out for me.
Spadina or something like that. So I want to go there. And I that level of excellence has to get a photo taken, obviously.
No statue, a little bit disappointed, but
Yeah, I was hoping statue. I was also hoping number retirement. I thought that was kind of like a bare minimum, you know. Like I was expecting to see
mhm.
19 blown in the rafters, but
Yeah,
guess not.
it was nice, but yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was a good
Yeah,
day. I like it made me tear up seeing it like
it was
introduced and his
all the
moment.
memories
Moment.
kind of came back, and
Yeah.
on Sportsnet they had the Jays in 30 of the
Hmm.
ALDS game 5. I was telling you this, and I was like way too into that as well.
Yeah.
I was
The
like
good times.
cussing out the Rangers and like cheering on the Jays. Like I was going through it as if I didn't know the outcome, but I did know the outcome. And yeah, that home run is just like
Iconic. I mean,
chills, man.
it's got to be probably
It's
right
number two.
underneath. Yeah, right
It's
underneath Carter.
Carter. To me, it's Joe Carter, Jose Bautista, Edwin.
Bautista.
Edwin's
Yeah,
wild card game was
was.
probably the next one.
Mhm.
There, there hasn't really been. There's not big moments, I guess, for the like offensive moments in Blue
No,
Jays history.
and like to
Um,
get a comeback like that, the all the adversity, all the like it
all the
was in
bullshit.
Toronto, like yeah, all the bullshit. Like
It
I've
it
never
may
seen a
have been
catcher.
the right call. I will argue till my grave that was the wrong call to make. It you can prove to me in the rule book that that was the correct call, and I will disagree with you
Mhm.
because I don't think it was
No,
the right. It to me as a fan, still the wrong call.
but it made the moment even sweeter
Oh yeah.
when Mister Revenge gets his bat and punches
Oh,
gets the last punch, you know,
and knowing
because
the
earlier in the
call
year.
by heart. Also, earlier in that game, they were like, "Yeah, Elvis Andrews is like a defensive wizard at short," and then I'm like, "Okay, we'll see in 20 minutes where he makes three more errors and it's just cut error, error, error."
Oh my God, that was crazy
And
to
I'm
see all
like,
the
"Look at
errors.
your
I'm like,
defensive wizard!" It's like shouting at work. I was like, "Yeah!"
yeah, they
I was the only
buckled
one there,
that.
so no
Like,
one thought I was weird.
oh man, it was so great because of what happened earlier in the season,
And then
the fighting.
and then I know the call off by heart. And I'm like, the 1-1 from Dyson, Bautista with a drive, deep left field.
Yeah.
It's out of here. I was going nuts. I was losing my
Ooh.
mind.
And then you see Ryan Goins like fucking
Ryan goes
going
like
crazy.
that. Edwin's like, it's insane. Uh,
Yeah.
and then they
People
got their
throwing
ass
shit on the
kicked in the
field.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the real game comes. Honestly, after the Bautista celebration, I was just kind of good to go. I didn't need the Blue Jays game that day, but they had to play because I guess they have to play 162. And they got their butt kicked. It was not good. Not a fun game to watch.
Yep.
Um,
Really fun.
and then Sunday, they fall down too early with Ryu on the mound. I was kind of like, oh, great, here we go again. Ryu shuts that shit down.
Shuts it
And
down.
I was just kind of like, I don't know how you feel about the offense, but going into that Sunday game, like despite Edwin being in the dugout, I was kind of like, wow, 2-0 seems like an 8-0 hole right now. Like I don't know how you get back from this.
Yeah.
And they
I
scored 11, so like fuck me.
I think yeah, no, I'm the same way, and I think I have been over the last like week. I mean, I'm the one that said we were gonna score 2 runs, like or dominate. I
Yeah, you
no, that
said that
was for
about the
next
Phillies game.
Thursday, the Phillies game. That's how this
You
offense is.
predicted that Phillies score too. Bang on. I think you meant like 2-1 for the Phillies, but I'll give you the credit for it.
But like going into a Cubs game or any game this
Ugh.
week or last week, I feel like it could have been 2-1 because our
I'm
offense has just been trash. So like to see 11 runs, it was like, oh my god,
it
it's so
that
relieving.
what was it, the fourth inning or the third inning? What was they put up like 6 runs or something or 5 runs?
Yeah,
I was like, wow, this feels like 2015 again. And then they sucked. And then they put up some big runs again. I'm like, let's go. That day
yeah,
kind of felt like 2015, not great pitching, but really good offense. I like
Yep.
this is my thing. And then they play Philly, and it felt like 2016, where it was really great pitching, really shitty offense. When the winning run is a hit by pitch, your offense doesn't have a great night.
Yep.
Throwing that out
And
there.
and I mean, regardless, Sunday was a good game, but Saturday and Friday were atrocious to watch too. So
I didn't watch
this
them.
offense is just like,
I
I.
didn't watch them. Friday was Apple TV. I said, nah,
Mhm.
I got better things to do. I got home and it was like 4-0. I was like, I'm not gonna find the stream to watch this. And yeah, at work I like looked down. I was like, oh man, they're already losing. I was like, no thanks.
I watched Friday after. I remember not being home, looking down 5 minutes into the game and seeing like Cody Bellinger hitting a bomb already. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god, nice, good start. I know exactly how this series is going to turn out. So could have easily got swept there. So I'm glad we picked up that win. But going into the
the
series with
Philly
Philadelphia,
series. I
I
actually
thought
had
maybe.
they did exactly what I wanted them to do in the Philly series. I just was 1-2. I I didn't have high hopes going into the game with Wheeler on the mound because he or no Aaron Nola on the mound. He took I think it was
Mhm.
Nola was game 1, right? Or was Nola game 2? I
The,
didn't have faith going in with the game 1 starter.
Wheeler was game one, and then Nola was number two.
I didn't have faith going in with with Wheeler as a starter because I remember it was
Mm.
either Wheeler or Nola absolutely diced this lineup up in
Wheeler.
like June, and I was like, I don't really want to deal with this again. And he diced them up, but you say Kikuchi just turned into Randy Johnson all of a sudden and was not in my
Yeah.
house. And
Yeah.
Kevin Ambitious just got himself
Yeah, Calvin Biggio has saved us games this month, and like
this
when I
week, like this past like two
this week,
weeks.
yeah,
He's won us
yeah,
2 games at least.
yeah, which is crazy to say. He's
Oh
been mashing, bro. But I just want to point out that I wanted Kikuchi to be in the discussion for Blue Jay of the Week. And he's got another argument if he didn't only start one game, man. This
yeah,
guy's been our ace on a pitching staff that has been nasty. Gosman had a bad start, but man, Kikuchi has the best ERA since All Star break and like a
he's got the
1.15 or
best.
something.
What is it? ERA, WHIP, strikeouts per nine, and hits
He's
per
just the
nine or
best
something.
the
He's
best
been the
pitcher
best
in the
pitcher in
league.
baseball since the All Star
Yeah,
break or something like that. Yeah,
he's been nasty.
it's nice. It's nice to see. That's good. Romano came back healthy. That was great. He looked
He
pretty
looked
good.
great. Great, yeah.
We didn't have faith going in. Well, I didn't. But then I saw that he had like no hair and he shaved his beard, and I was like, okay, this is prime
I was
Romano.
trying not to jinx it,
So
yeah.
we're either getting a first pitch hanging slider and it's a tie ball game, or he's just gonna just pound the zone with the strike with this fastball, and he did. It was nice.
Yeah.
And they're looking. I think they're probably gonna get even healthier. I think Friday, Bichette's active, Kiermaier's active,
Yes.
Richards is active, and potentially Chad Green. Bichette had a rehab game today. Let's go see how he did.
He
Yesterday he went
crushed it.
two
Three
for three.
RBIs. Three
Today
RBIs. He hit a
today
bomb.
he hit a home run off Potako. Hit another ball off the wall.
And hit a
Yeah,
two RBI base hit, I think.
very nice. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing good. Richards did pretty good in his debut, or not his debut, but his rehab. Bichette went 2 for 2 today. He's got an 800 average in AAA. Yeah, he doesn't need to be there anymore.
No.
And then Richards nor Green pitched today, which I
Please.
think is a little interesting. We
We
also
need our gold.
don't
We need our Gold Glove third baseman back, please,
Matt
ASAP,
Chapman. Yeah,
please.
Chapman should be in the starting lineup. Don't know when Manoa makes his next start in AAA. That's like the start I want to watch. You know, it's a pretty good indicator of what he's going to be like. Um, I don't know what the roster moves are going to be like. Obviously, I'm guessing it's Bichette up, Schneider down,
Why was Schneider not
because
playing
they're not
yesterday?
playing him, right? Because John Schneider's a goddamn idiot and a lunatic. So I think Davis Schneider goes down. I don't think they'll throw Espinal down because he can play third base, even though Biggio plays it better somehow. And they won't they won't DFA Paul DeYoung. I just don't think they do that. They should, but they won't.
Holy.
They
Did
need
we talk about that,
yeah,
man?
in a second, in a second.
Oh my God. Don't even get
So
me
I think the
started.
moves are Bichette up, Schneider down, Richards up, Francis down, That one makes pretty good sense to me. Kiermaier up, Luke's down. Chappie
Yeah.
just back to normal, and then if Chad Green comes up, that's where the question marks start to come of who do you send down. I think they option Jay Jackson for a couple weeks and then bring him back up in September when the rosters expand. That seems like their easiest move to make.
Yeah, he hasn't been looking like the
He's
same pitcher, but
he's still been the best pitcher. Well, one of the best pitchers. And you know what? Like, if you option him to AAA, or you can put him on this emergency medical list, right? And he
mm,
can go home for 2 weeks, be with his child, and then come back, right? And it's just like, whatever. Like, I don't know if they have Green for tomorrow. I don't know if they let him come up with the big boys, or if they're like, take another day. But if he takes another day and he takes another ball off the head, we're going to assassinate the goddamn catcher.
yeah, yeah,
Please.
that's funny.
Please go ahead with Paul the shit.
Oh man, I was texting you every at bat what his
I know.
two hits and
One for
39,
seven
whatever.
hundred.
Yeah, it was getting out of hand, and it still is. Like I was thinking in my head, if you went through a Paul DeYoung like Blue Jays highlight reel right now, there's two plays. He hit like an RBI double the other day, and he made a nice
Oh yeah, he
catch.
did get a hit too. I forgot about that. It was in the
Yeah,
Cubs game where everyone got a hit. The Paul
yeah.
DeYoung highlight reel is going to be him getting on the bus to Buffalo.
Were you watching
Three pitch at
the?
bats. I think I made this point last week. Paul
Yeah.
DeYoung sees three pitches in at bat, and I was like, if a blind child
There's
went
like
up and didn't swing the bat, he would see more pitches.
Yeah, but it's not even. It wasn't even about the three pitch. It was three pitch strikeouts this week. It was
Yeah,
like I wanted to pull my teeth out. Like it was just like
insane.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh, Espinal's just shit, man. He hasn't done a thing in the past 4 months that proves that he's the big leaguer. And he's still on the big league roster. And he's going to remain on the big league roster, which I think is insane.
Yeah,
I
they think
think
he's really good,
he's
but
the
he's not.
easy option to get out of town. You leave Davis Schneider in, and guess what? He can hit against the righties or lefties, and Biggio can hit against the righties, and Whit Merrifield can just chill in left field, or Schneider can DH a game. I
Yeah.
don't think he plays third, but he can play in left. Biggio can play third base. He did it in 2021. Not
Hmm.
great, but he did it again a couple days ago, and he's got a way better arm than Espinal, and he doesn't triple clutch a baseball like a 10-year-old.
Yeah. They just
Wow.
need to get him. Defense is not the issue, and when then
It
Espinal's
is when
doing
Espinal's
nothing.
on defense.
But like that's what I'm saying. It's not that much of an issue where we have to force Espinal to play third with his and put his awful bat in the lineup. At least Schneider, has potential to put a ball over the fence and help the team out by
Schneider's
getting
got
on base
potential to
by
make
taking a walk.
contact with the ball. That's
Yeah,
just what I'm hoping
exactly.
for in Espinal's at bats.
Yeah, our
I
defense is good enough. We're a top tier defense. We will be with or without Espinal. He does not change anything.
I
Trash.
my favorite stat. I don't know if this is a real stat. This is just a stat I'm making up, but it's the narrative that I want to push. Danny Jansen's wrist has put more balls into fair territory and gotten on base
Oh,
more times than Paul DeYoung has since he's been a Blue Jay. I
fact.
think Danny Jansen's wrist has more RBIs than Paul DeYoung has as a Blue Jay.
You
And
might
like
be right.
that's a stat I'm actually willing to go with. I think that's like potentially legit. Um, and I think it's insane when Bo Bichette plays in two AAA games as a rehab assignment, and he has more hits than the guy that traded for to replace him.
Okay, but it is in
It is
AAA.
AAA. I don't think Paul DeYoung could go 2 for 2 or 2 for 3. You think Paul DeYoung could go down to AAA right now for a 2 game stint after taking a 3 weeks off or 2 weeks off and put up an 800 average with a home run and like 5 RBIs? I think he goes 0 for 5 with 5 Ks and sees 15 pitches. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's where I'm
It's
at with it.
actually a joke. But hey, we did good at the trade deadline, right? Like
Hicks
that's
and Cabrera
kind of
are the only reason that deadline looks good.
And it's not in my eyes. I'm being sarcastic. Like
No,
the
I.
offense did not improve. It got worse.
Oh yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing really to burn through for these 5 games. The Yankees are under 500. I want to bring this up before we kind of head into the endings of this and go into like
Oh,
the look at next week.
Gosman. Gosman wasn't
Um,
good.
yeah, but the Yankees are under 500 for the first. They're 1661. Let me rephrase this before Yankee fans rip my life apart. They're 60-61 for the first time since 1995, which I think is insane. They are on pace to finish under 500. They're on pace. I think it was 80-82 or 79-83. Be the first time they finish under 500 since 1992. And I don't know. As a Blue Jays fan, I have really good memories. Well, the Blue Jays organization has really good memories of 1992.
Hmm.
So I'd be okay if history were to repeat itself. I'd be okay with that.
Me too. Fuck the Yankees. They don't deserve anything.
I hate the
Oh,
Yankees. Anyways, yeah, Gosman sucked, but like whatever. We were also talking. Everyone, Caleb Joseph was a little upset. They're like, "Oh, Gosman used his slider here against I think it was Castellanos or Schwarber, when he should have used his splitter or his fastball, but like the splitter and fastball had been hit already in that at bat, and like hit pretty well, if I remember it
yeah.
correctly. So
He
I
was
get
getting
thrown to the
smoked.
slider, but like 2 pitches later, we go to Espinal, fumbles the baseball 5 times like he's playing hot potato hacky sack, and then just holds it for another 3 seconds and goes, "Oh, let me fire the ball into the dirt." He spiked it to Vladdy's ankles.
Vladdy could have picked that, but yes, that's on him.
Vladdy
Terrible.
should have picked that. I agree. But when you're a professional third baseman and your job is to make a throw, you make
No,
the
no, no.
fucking throw.
I think you meant to say you're a part-time
When
third
when
baseman.
you are a last second replacement at third base and you're a professional baseball player that makes at least seven
That's
hundred thousand dollars a year to play a sport, the
mhm.
least that you can do is be able to throw that ball across the infield, because I can go to my local youth field and find a 10-year-old who can make that throw. And guess what? They don't want $700,000. They want a popsicle and some V-Bucks.
Yeah, and I mean, let me just branch this off into since we get to rip into people, I just want to say it
Go
again.
rip into
Vla-
Vladdy.
Vladdy, buddy, what are you doing, Vladdy? Vladdy, Vladdy, you're supposed to be a really good team that contend
Come
with a
closer.
superstar. With a superstar. With a superstar. You're supposed to be a superstar. You have done nothing. You're batting 260 now, buddy. Like, I don't get it. You can hit singles all you want. You can go 2 for 4 every third game all you want. That doesn't mean anything to me. I do not care about fucking 2 singles. Like, you're pulling the ball. Cool. I don't pay you. We do not pay
You don't
you.
correct. You don't pay them.
We don't pay like the organization, okay? The organization does not pay you a maximum contract that you want in like going into next year for hitting singles, okay? I get it. Yeah. Okay, you drive in runs, whatever you're always gonna drive in runs. I don't care. You're not hitting the ball at all. I would drive in runs if Bo Bichette was in front of me too. I'm just saying you're letting us down, and you have probably been the biggest letdown this year.
Manoa.
Anyway, yeah. Oh,
When
that's how bad he's been that I forgot about it.
I think this might be the first time ever that an opening day starter has a former Cy Young finalist that was turned to the opening day starter was optioned not once but twice to the minor leagues. I don't think that ever happens. You
And
know,
I,
I have other people I could rip into too. Mainly,
we
it's
have,
like mainly Espinal and DeYoung. Like I see that
yeah.
8-9 and I go, well, there's 2 outs.
Yeah.
Like so, we're hitting with 7 people today. Awesome, bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off. And guess what? It doesn't. You know who else sucks? You know who else sucks?
Our manager.
Everyone. Everyone. Everyone sucks right now. You know who's been a really bright spot? Bowden Francis, our AAA call up, who throws 2 innings out of the pen. He has been the bright spot. When Kevin Biggio is your best offensive player in August, he has a 912 or 921 OPS in August. Kevin Biggio. This is the guy we're talking about. Does he play in AAA or do we maybe send him to AA? Like, what could he get us? And he's your best player? Shoot me.
Okay. Our
Shoot
our
me.
starting pitchers have been really good, and our pitching in general has been really good. Let's not pass that by, but I agree. Offense is zero. This team is trash. Both of our best players coming into the year, superstars that bright future, yada yada,
Yeah.
trash.
You know who else sucks right now? I'm gonna say it. I don't
Just go
care.
in.
Chappie.
Yeah,
Useless.
yeah,
Hot piece of
yeah,
dog shit lately. I wanna
yeah.
be real. He sucks. I haven't seen him do a thing since April. If he didn't have a
Mhm.
700 average at the end of April, he'd be hitting 100 right now. I don't care.
Seriously, with like
And they want to extend
two
him.
home runs.
For what? He can't lift weights without getting hurt.
No, no, and you
Pinching
know
his
what? Since we're
finger.
doing this, let's go down. Let's go down the line, okay? Springer, you are really abysmal, buddy. Okay, so just because you had a week where you batted 500 doesn't mean you're out of it either. You've been healthy. Oh my God, I seen them. Like he stole a base. He's like, and they're like, oh, I just want to point out that's his 16th stolen base, and he's finally healthy this year. I don't care that he's healthy this year. Honestly, because like the stat line doesn't show it. I think he's getting old. I don't care about 16 stolen bases. How about you drive in more than 43 fucking runs or whatever? Like, okay, he had one or two good weeks. Wow, he's so good. Yes, he can be, but will he? He's going back down to that hole again. I mean, I don't know.
If we continue
This
on, I
team's
have my next. No, I have another one. Captain Kirk. That bowling ball, I don't care if he's a fan favorite. You would think for a guy who weighs 700 pounds and is 5'1" and runs slower than my grandma backwards, he would stop hitting the ball on the ground in the infield. What do you think is gonna happen, man? You think you're gonna beat it out this time? No. Like the ball has to go to the wall for you to make it to first base.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Kirk.
I just no. I thought you were talking about the automatic
Double
ground
play?
ball machine.
No, I
The
wasn't talking about
automatic.
Vladdy Jr.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck, I forgot. Every time he goes down to first base, his fucking helmet falls off. I don't care if
you,
your helmet
you
falls
know what
off
else
if
sucks?
you're sprinting.
Dalton
Like, jeez.
Varshaw's average is lower than his weight.
He's
And
been
Dalton
really
Varshaw doesn't
good,
weigh a
but it
lot.
needs to stay. Yeah. Uh, coming in for power has 14 home runs up. Like, come on.
Uh,
Like Jesus, man.
I
Yeah.
feel like we should change the subject now. Let's go into Blue Jay of the Week. Let's give out our awards before we go into
I
previews
sent
of
you
the week.
something. I sent you something.
On what?
Discord.
Oh Christ! Well,
It's
I have to
very
go.
interesting. Well, it's all NBA watch or all NBA, all MLB watch for like who's gonna be all
Here are the
MLB.
favorites for MLB. Let's go look this up.
Yeah.
Oh.
I seen this the other day on my phone and it was interesting to look at.
Anyways, my Blue Jay of the Week, Kevin Biggio. Um,
Yeah, I
just
had
I'm
an
riding the high
argument.
on Kevin Biggio. There's an argument for Yusei Kikuchi, maybe Dalton Varsho, but right now it's Biggio.
Dalton
He's been the most
Varsho.
consistent.
Yeah. Don Varsho had a five ribby game and then he hit a home run the next game. But yeah, you don't expect it from Biggio. Like we signed Varsho and where he's supposed to do this all year, hit some home runs, yada yada. So when you get a few game winners from Biggio, you're obviously gonna be like, yeah. And he's playing great defensively too. So
Matt
yeah, I
Chapman,
agree.
not the best, second best third baseman in the league.
That's what I would. That's the most like.
Austin Riley, I get it. Chapman's having a really good year compared to what we thought.
Hmm,
No, Bo
no.
Bichette, yeah, I like that.
Yes, yes.
If
He's the
Wander
only one.
Franco was receiving votes, I think that'd be pretty funny.
Hmm.
Um,
No, I don't even
I
think it's
think.
close. I think it's Corey Seager and Bo are locks.
Oh yeah, well that one's done.
And then
Gauze is starting.
Ghazi, which is fine. Yeah, he's been really good. I mean, probably the second best starter in the AL up until his bad start the other day. But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
I agree.
So my Blue Jay of the Week was Biggio. I didn't actually hear what yours was. I don't know if you said one.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Oh, I was just
Um,
saying that Varsho did really well, but we expected it a lot sooner, so we don't expect this kind of week from, Bijou.
well, I mean, if you would have told me that in last going into the season, Kevin Bishop was gonna have the best OPS in August, I would have shit my pants. I would have assumed we are seven
Yeah.
games under 500, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're like 14. That's nice.
Somehow.
Yeah, hey, a win's a win. Um, Going into this week, it's three in Cincy, three in Baltimore, which is also
Hmm.
known as hell. So yeah,
Yes.
Cincinnati has turned into a must sweep series. Sorry, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
With Seattle going to Houston, Seattle's prone to drop two there. Toronto's got to win at least two in Cincy. Like
We need it.
if you come out 1-3, you're a failure. 2-3 is the way it has to be. 3-3 to me is the mandatory, but 2 out of 3, like I would take 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And then in Baltimore, you gotta at least take one. Like when the expectations going into Baltimore is just try and win a game, you can't really like. There's no losing in that scenario. We're like, oh well, get him next time. But there hasn't really been a next time where it's like, oh, we actually got him. So it'd be kind of
Yeah.
nice to just, I don't know, shove it down their throat once. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I
Um,
want I
I
want to
think
be
it's
able to breathe.
I think this is the last series against the Orioles as well.
Thank God. Thank God.
I think it's done because this will be our second time visiting Camden Yards, and I believe they've been in Toronto twice.
Yeah, I think you're
So
right.
yeah, this week's their final big week before they get a 12 game stretch against subpar teams. I was saying that by the end of Sunday, if you have 72 wins, that's a good spot because then you get that 12 game set against like Colorado, Oakland, Washington, Kansas City, right? Where if you just go 10-2, which is if you're a playoff team is like that's kind of that's doable. Like that's where you should be sitting at. You're now
Hmm.
looking at 82 wins and you only got to win 10 of your next 18 to be at 92. You only got to win 8 of your next 10 to be at 90. Like that's a really good spot to be at. So,
Yeah, like if you look at September, I'm looking at it right now. Rockies 3 games could be
easy.
an easy sweep, and then we go to um
Washington should be an easy sweep. Kansas City should be an easy sweep, and Oakland should be an easy sweep. Like
yeah,
there's no reason they can't go 12-0 in that stretch, but that's
yeah,
that's not realistic. It's Toronto; they're gonna lose one game. So
and then
yeah,
the Rangers for 4. That's going to be a big series.
yeah, if you can split two there, and then you're looking at I think it's Boston,
Boston, we
New
have
York,
to
Tampa
win.
Bay, New York, Tampa Bay to end the year.
Mhm.
I actually know the schedule from here on out. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think 3-3. If you go 3-3 this week, that's nice. 4-3 is like the dream, but 3-3
mhm.
like that's mandatory. That's a 2 out of 3 in Cincy, 1 out of 3 in Baltimore. If I'm coming back next week and we've sat at 3-3, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I don't care
yeah,
how it works that we got to 3-3, unless you've lost 2 games that you should have won, and you could have been 5-1. But three and
yeah. It
three,
depends on the circumstances.
yeah,
Yeah,
3-3 outside looking in is kind of nice. 4-2 is like pipe dream. Anything else beyond that's just not realistic because there's no way they win more than one game against Baltimore.
yeah. Cincinnati. The only thing scary is like they're fighting for their season.
Yeah,
Just like us, they're just on the outside looking in, and they're so tight in the standings right now. So
they just got no pitching, which
yeah,
probably means the Jays are gonna be shit
yeah,
out of luck.
exactly,
But you never know.
exactly.
They hit
We just need
Jemison
the offense.
Tyone like they were supposed to, so maybe, maybe they do it. Maybe they figure something out. I don't know.
Well,
A lot of
Bo comes
maybes. We've been
back.
saying that
I
for a
think
week or for a
I think
year.
Bo
Sorry.
Bo plays tomorrow. I think right.
Bo
They're
plays tomorrow. I was saying, I put this out into the atmosphere, into the universe today, manifesting it. Vladdy's gonna have a quote unquote September, although because Bo's starting in like a couple days. Vladdy's gonna have a September like Bo, where everyone's like,
he needs
"Wow,
to.
we shit on this guy, and he's like our savior." And then he's gonna come in next year, and he's gonna be like 108, 85 pounds, 190 pounds, lean as fuck, 6 pack going on, and he is just donking balls everywhere. So that's what I put out in the universe. That's what I'm hoping for. Will it happen? Probably
Can
not.
we just
But
get everything easy? Can we play like the Dodgers are playing? Can we get Bo
can
to
we have
go
like a
into
20-2 stretch?
yeah,
If we had a 20
easy
and 2
like
stretch,
twenty
I would
fifteen,
never
right?
ask for
2014.
anything. If we had a 20-2
Yeah.
stretch, I don't know what I'd ask. Like, I wouldn't have to ask for anything. But yeah,
And a
I don't
World
care.
Series.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
want that
put
World
this
Series.
energy out. I want Bo Bichette to go into Camden Yards like he did last year at the end of the season and absolutely
Rake.
rake.
I want him to treat
Yeah,
Baltimore like he treated Tampa Bay last year.
me too.
Those were
Let's
good
just go
series.
and win.
Let's
Let's
just
make
go
it
win
easy.
baseball games. Let's go play a
Yes,
lot of fun
please.
baseball.
Like,
What's your prediction for the week?
mm,
Whoa.
I'm gonna go
Are you gonna sit with my 3-3?
4-2.
4-2?
I've been very negative. Please, boys, give me
Yeah.
something.
4-2 tells me that we probably swept Cincy, but I mean, if it means that we took 2 out of 3 from Baltimore, I would love it.
I'll take it anywhere. I'll like
I'm
take it
saying 3-3. I think
anyway.
3-3 is the
Okay.
way to go.
That yeah, that's
Um,
nice.
Predict your Blue Jay of the week.
I don't even want to say Vladdy again because he's just a disappointment. Mm, let's just go easy.
Fuck,
Bo,
that was mine
coming
too.
back.
That was
Yeah.
100% mine. Bo coming back. Um, yeah, I mean that one's pretty obvious. The only other one
Yeah.
I'd put out there would be Varsho.
Portia's been swinging the bat,
Um,
but
if depending, I don't know if Kiermaier 100% comes back tomorrow. That's like another guy I'd look at. But Bo was my favorite, but I don't want to have the same answer as you, so I'm gonna go with Varsho.
okay, let's do it.
We gotta have some spice and some variety.
Are you not even Biggio? You don't think he's gonna absolutely
Well,
rake
no,
in
I
Camden
think
Yards?
that Bijou has a good week, but I think the other players realize that they're
They need to step up.
they're basically like all stars, and that Biggio's kind of a bench bat, and he's showing them up. And I think they take offense to that, and they play really good baseball to kind of tell them to shut up. So I'm hoping for. So,
Please be right.
yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
Me neither. I think we're done. I think that was another successful and clip-worthy rage montage.
Oh, you know that's gonna be a video.
Yeah, little thing there. So
uh,
thank you for watching, listening, and subscribing. If you do it, if you don't, a bunch of my friends have been asking me to share the name of the podcast, and I'm just saying no. But
at 100 subscribers, we will share the name of the podcast to DJ's friends.
100 subscribers, please somehow go viral. Um, you'll make my day. 100 subscribers would be phenomenal. But you've got there before. You've done it.
I
Blue
have.
Jays Domain. Go on
Nice.
YouTube. Give him a subscribe. I like his videos. They're really well put together, and he's got some more content
Yes.
coming.
I do have some fun ones coming. So yeah, that's gonna do
Yeah.
it for this week's episode of Behind the Plate podcast. So yeah, catch you all next week when the Jays have gone 6-0.
Yeah, no.
Okay, peace.